Okay, guys, thanks for joining today. My name is RFequet, and I'm here excited to learn with and from you guys about conflict. What we'll talk about today is we'll go over what conflict is. We'll talk about some of the costs of conflict. Talk about some conflict management styles and also some conflict resolution strategies. And we'll end with the not-for-profit sector and kind of wrap it all together back into what our roles are here. These are all the typical things and ways people think and talk about conflict. But what I'd like to talk about today is the other side of the coin. What about engagement? Like being able to confidently engage your colleagues and people in your professional and personal life when you have a conflict. Dialogue, right? Being able to share a difference of opinions, but in a respectful way, knowing that people will have that conversation with you. Problem solving, right? So that's kind of a belief or philosophy that there's always a way to sort things out if you're willing to tackle a problem together. Growth, right, is the result of a team working through a conflict when you come out on the other side, right? You're going to be better and stronger for it. Early resolution, dealing with conflict saves time and money and energy instead of letting it sit there. Collaboration, right, being able to work with each other and learn about each other's experiences and perspectives helps have a better result at the end. And honesty, it just creates a conflict culture. So these are the positive elements of conflict that aren't often talked about, that I really believe are important. And to kind of set us at least on the same page to start, here's a definition of conflict that I'll use to just kind of wrap up everything we just talked about. So a conflict is when individuals or groups have fundamental differences in the way they see the world, and that's not itself a problem. It's when those differences matter, right? Then you have a conflict. It's because there are direct costs of conflict. These are pretty straightforward, right? Salary when people are away on leave or not at work. Benefits if you actually have to terminate someone or they're on medical leave. Replacement costs, so that all the time and money associated with recruiting and terminating and replacing people, and any legal costs if it's actually not a very pleasant situation. So these are the obvious kind of direct costs of conflict, but what a lot of people don't think about is the indirect costs, right? And these are actually more detrimental to an organization's reputation, employee morale, and organizational effectiveness. So time wasted in conflict. So they say that an organization, 60 to 80% of the time, the reason there's conflict isn't because of an employee's deficit in their skills. It's actually because of relationships. Right? So if you think of like three-fifths or three-quarters of the time, it's relationships. So a manager will spend 25 to 40% of their time. That's 1 to 2 days a week dealing with conflict. So there's a lot of time spent managing conflict. Impacts to quality. Okay. Impacts to quality, right? We all know that we don't make good decisions under stress or duress, or when we're emotional, right? Like you mentioned before, Megan. So the decision-making is bad. Organizational change, because of conflict, you might have to restructure, you might have to create new policies. There's a lot of costs that can be associated with that. Productivity erosion. We know that when there's a conflict, it doesn't just affect the people in the conflict. If Megan and Brody are not having a good day, everyone else around still gets affected by that, right? It affects other people's morale. Absenteeism. Guess what the biggest cause of people calling in sick is? It isn't actually them being sick, right? It's because there's something they don't want to deal with at work, a different person that's frustrating them or annoying them. It's not actually about being sick. And then sometimes, if it's a really bad conflict, people could destroy property or not do their job. How would you make? Perfect. So I'm going to ask you guys to close your eyes. And I would like you to think of the days of the week. I would like you to think particularly of Monday and Friday. And I would like you to think of a color that you associate, just to yourself, with each of those days. So take a second, a few seconds. What color do you picture Monday? What color do you picture Friday? I'll give you 5 more seconds to pick it up. Megan, what were you?
My Monday was like gray.
Gray, okay.
Because it's like the start of, feels like the start of the week, and it's like ramping up, so it's not quite bright yet.
And Friday?
And Friday was like a yellow.
Okay, what were your colors?
Yeah,
more like a yellow red,
Ah.
like a not like a no, it's more like an angry color. Like this is what I've got to do. This has got to be done. Whereas Friday was more of a I just want to say like a warm orange. A warm orange.
Okay.
That sounds like a lager kind of color. Yeah. So I just asked you guys to think about the days of the week. Very straightforward, no complexity, no stress, and you both had different colors that came to mind. Now, can you imagine when someone at work or in your personal life asks you a question that's very complex? You may not have time to think it through. You might not have the information you need. Can you understand why people might come up with different answers to really complex, hard questions? That's a logical conclusion to come to. It seems reasonable. Andre Bocelli is one of the best opera singers in the world. He's blind, right? So this person didn't have that information. The point of this is to tell you that everyone is right in their own rightness. So it's really important when someone has a different opinion or perspective to actually figure out and explore why they have that perspective. Because you're both right, right? Your opinions are based on your experiences and your values. So I'm going to ask you to do a simulation exercise. It's called the $2 bargaining negotiation. When I say go, grab a partner. Not lots of choice. Sorry. And there's secret instructions. The idea is to try to negotiate for as much of this $2 as you can. You cannot take payment later, but it's called the $2 bargaining simulation in case you want to do it later with your colleagues. I'll have you guys just stand up here. You have 2 minutes to do it. There's secret instructions. Do not share with the other person on your piece of paper. And I'll let you guys go. Hi, so my practicum project, I'm leading the development and delivery of a director education and training program. It's called the DETP for the not-for-profit sports sector. The organization I'm working with is through Sport British Columbia, who is the provincial sport governing body for the province of British Columbia. Sport BC has 63 member organizations called provincial sport organizations, or PSOs, and they're all governed by volunteer boards of directors. So a lot of my experience is in the sports sector in governance and communications, and I chose to work with Sport BC because they have 62 member organizations across all types of sporting groups, and we can maximize the impact of the number of individuals we reach with this training program. As far as an overview of the practicum project, what you just saw was the first few minutes and first few slides of the conflict resolution module. It's one of 4, the others being governance and leadership, communications and team dynamics, and risk and human resource management. So all of the modules delve into conflict engagement, management, and resolution, and introduce the conflict lens wherever possible. Each of the 4 modules is 90 minutes in length, and the plan is to deliver it in 2 3-hour blocks so that the 2 modules are back-to-back over the course of a Friday evening and Saturday morning, so that the modules are more accessible to the volunteer directors who will be traveling out of town. So these sessions will be provided by Sport BC to its members at no charge, and the delivery will take place at the quarterly meetings of the members. Feedback has been great. I've had the opportunity to hear from people about how now they're aware of conflict and how there are ways to deal with it, and also that the $2 bargaining simulations that we did in the NCR program were really engaging. And with respect to the goal of this practicum project, the effective design and delivery will require a review of the past NCR courses to ensure that the theories and the studies are combined in an effective way. So this will really solidify many of the concepts and the theories and increase my conflict competence. And one of the objectives that I think is really well shown in this practicum project is ensuring the participants are engaged by designing the training based on active training principles, and that they leave the training with new tools and understanding. And that's been a lot of the feedback that I've got so far. So some of the theories at a high level that I think support this objective include active training, facilitation techniques and strategies, reframing, interest-based negotiation, and saving face. And you'll see all of those concepts discussed in the PowerPoint presentation that will be uploaded as part of this assignment. And for the last 2 requirements for this assignment, lessons learned and discussion on what elements incorporate into my personal and professional life. I learned that there's a time and a place for collaboration. In my workplace, I've adjusted my behavior during meetings with my team to when the proverbial wheels are spinning, I realize it's okay to cut it off and be more direct and end the conversation because it actually demonstrates respect for the team's time. And the second lesson would be related to my personal life. And that's after delivering the Thomas Kilmann model a few times and discussing it, I had an aha moment when I realized that my tendency to collaborate and problem solve immediately didn't align with my partner Katie's preferred style of avoidance, because she prefers to take time to, reflect on it and make sure there's no emotions involved in the discussion. So, yeah, that's it, and hope you guys enjoy.